Okay, division and negative exponents. Now, there's a couple more properties, and I'm not going to use the names in the book because honestly they gave me headaches. The power of a property, and the property of a power property, and all the rest of it.
What?
So, here is the rule, though. Well, we went over this rule a little bit, okay? If I have 5 to the 8th power divided by 5 to the 3rd power, what do I do with these exponents?
Keep them the same, right?
Nope. Jenny? Don't add them in this case. We add them when we have multiplication.
You divide them. No, you subtract them.
We subtract them, actually. This would become 5 to the 8th minus 3, which equals 5 to the 5th power. I'm going to illustrate why this works, doing something the way Nick was doing it before, which you don't have to do every time, and in fact wouldn't work very well. I can rewrite this as 5 times 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 5. Is that 8 of them? Please double check me.
Yeah.
3, 4, 6, 7, 8, yeah.
Over 5 times 5 times 5. Here's what's really going on with this. And again, you don't have to write it every time, but here's what's actually going on. And sometimes I think Honors Pre-Calculus could use a review in some of this.
Thanks.
You're good at this, usually. This can be, whenever you have multiplication going on inside a fraction, you can split it into separate fractions. So I could make this 5 over 5 times 5 over 5.
Can we just do your way?
Well, hang on. I'm just showing you how it works. Patience, okay? You don't have to do this ever. But I want you to see it once.
Why ever 1?
Okay, excellent question. These leftover 5s have to be over something. Okay? These leftover 5s can't just be over nothing. Okay? And when you have a number and you want to make it into a fraction, what do you put it over?
Can't divide by 0.
Can't divide by 0, that's right. So I have to put it over 1. Jordan, have a seat, please.
But why is it... Oh, I thought you were done. I was like...
Oh, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah,
okay.
that makes sense.
So now, I've split this up. Instead of having 8 5s on top and 3 5s on the bottom of one fraction, I've made 8 fractions. 8 5s on the top, 3 5s on the bottom, and 1's the rest of the way.
Oh, this makes so much sense.
So now, what is 5 divided by 5? 1. And when I multiply by 1, it doesn't change the value, so I can cross that out. What's this 5 divided by 5?
Cross it out.
And this 5 divided by 5?
Cross it out.
It is 1, so I may cross it out. And I'm left with 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, or 5 to the 5th. That's what you're doing when you're subtracting these exponents.
Would a fraction numbers always be the same, or no?
Oh, yes, this only works if the bases are the same. So if I gave you, like, 5 to the 12th divided by 3 to the 9th.
Would you subtract the 5 and the 3?
Nope, can't do a thing. You know what this equals? This equals 5 to the 12th over 3 to the 9th, and I can't do anything. Unless I pull out my calculator and find out what ridiculously huge number this and this are.
So you just basically...
Leave it.
Rewrite it?
I just leave it alone, yeah.
So you're really not going to see that?
No, not this unit. This unit you won't. This unit you'll be using this rule. So the way to write the rule in general is if you have any number raised to the m power divided by any number to the n, that equals that number to the m minus n. Now this is going to lead to two, I'm going to sound like a total dork when I say this, two very exciting consequences, and I actually do find these exciting. Okay, all right. Thank you, Adina.
I'm sorry.
All right. Should I leave this on the board for a moment, or may I erase it?
Oh, go ahead.
Let me erase it? Okay.
What grade is
Can I
it?
go to the bathroom while you're erasing?
Nick, hurry back. We're about to get to the good stuff.
Why can't you just wait until you, like... Why are you taking your bottle with you?
Fill it up.
No, you don't have time for that. Leave it. Leave it. You don't have time for that. Nick, you don't have time for that.
Fill it up with
Leave it there. Go. Bye. Okay, now, here's the first case. If I have 5 to the 12th power divided by 5 to the 12th power, okay?
I know.
Based on the rule I just gave, what does this equal?
5.
Jenny?
1.
Okay, it does
Well,
equal 1.
it's 1 to the 0.
1.
It's 1.
Close, actually. Let me go. Based on the rule I just gave, it should be 5 raised to the 12 minus 12th power, right?
Yeah, but 5 over 5 is...
which is 5 to the 0. But here's what Jenny's noticing that's giving her a little bit of a headache. By the rule, this is 5 to the 0 power.
Why can't it just be 5?
It can't be 5, because here, if we have 5 to the 12th divided by 5 to the 12th, we have something divided by itself. What is always true when you have something divided by itself? What does it always equal? 1. So here we have a problem. If we look at this, we can see that it should equal 1. If we follow my rule, we get 5 to the 0.
Everything to the 0 power is 1.
There you go. Adina's jumping ahead to where we're headed with this. The way this rule works out is this is why anything raised to the 0 power equals 1.
I didn't know that.
So if I put any number raised to some exponent over that same number raised to that same exponent, the rule tells me that that's a to the 0, and other things you've learned in math tell you that that is 1, so the rule must be that anything raised to the 0 power equals 1. That's the only way those two statements can be true.
Wait, okay. So that would just be, that would equal 1.
Yeah. This is a great trick question for your homework, my tests, all that sort of stuff. If I give you negative 52 to the 19th power times x to the 53rd power times y to the 12th power, all to the 0 power, what does that all equal?
0.
1.
1.
Sorry.
See? That's what happens when you go to the bathroom at a key moment. So it doesn't matter what you have in here. If you raise it to the 0 power, it equals 1.
What
I
if,
think you guys could, go ahead, Jenny.
what if you have a number to the 0 power, and then you have, it's times something else? Is it still 1?
Yeah, it's 1 times whatever that other thing is. So if I have, here's a great trick question for a test. If I have 572 to the 0 power times 3, what does that equal?
A number.
Equals
1,
3.
2,
3.
3. That's how I
If I have 572 to the 0 power times 3, that's the same thing as 1 times 3, or 3.
Your 3 looks weird.
It does. Okay, take a moment. If you need me to, should I leave this up for a moment and continue on the next board? Yeah.
You're gonna make me like follow that too. No,
I-
you cannot erase my
I won't
map.
erase yours. I'll erase
Does
this.
it work the same way if there's a 0 anyway?
Uh,
If it's 0 to an exponent, it's still 0.
We're not going to get to 0. Yeah, 0 raised to any power is still 0. Is
So
0,
we
but
should cross out 22.
anything to, let's see. Well, you still have to deal with that part of it. Oh, because no, you don't, because it's going to be times 0. Yeah, you're in good. Well, you got to write down that it equals 0. You can't just cross it out. Okay, guys. Now, here is, we're doing the next thing. Here is something that makes kids' brains explode for years. The better you pay attention and get this down now, the less trouble you will have in Algebra 2.
So then can I wait to write that down so I can pay attention?
Yes, that's fine.
How do you know we're going to take Algebra 2?
You have to graduate almost anywhere now.
Yeah, what if I fail school?
Okay, you know what? If you do, it's not going to be because I didn't try to teach you negative exponents today. All right? So, thank you. Here we go. Now here's a different one. If I have 5 cubed over 5 to the 8th. Okay, I'm going to do this the slow way first. I'm going to do the slow way first. I'm going to rewrite this as 5 times 5 times 5, and here's the important part, times 1 over 5 times 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 5. I feel like I'm chanting in German or something.
Wait, 1 times 1. Because anything that has 1 is just going to be itself.
Bingo. Anything times 1 is going to be itself, so I can always decide to multiply 1, right? You'll see in a moment.
Oh,
Okay.
Nick.
First off, guys, is this all? Am I allowed to do all this? Does
No.
5 cubed really mean 5 times 5 times 5?
Yes.
Yes.
And am I allowed to multiply anything times 1?
Yes.
Sure.
Because it doesn't change anything, so why not? Okay? And then 5 to the 8th is 5 times 5 times 5. Now, I'm not going to write it as separate fractions like I just did, but I could write it as separate fractions. But from here, I'm just going to ask myself, what's 5 divided by 5?
Cancel out.
1.
1. So those reduce to 1. What's 5 divided by 5 here?
1.
What's 5 divided by 5 here?
1.
Okay, now I wrote that 1 up there because I knew I would need something left over. And what I have here is 1 over 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5,